And the goal today for this webinar is to show you the new features from version 9.1. And I'm here with my friend Enrique. Hello, Enrique.
Hi, guys.
Enrique is going to show one or two features here for us today related to the code editor. Okay. I have already my version 9 installed here. As you can see, it's the normal version 9. I just have here 9.1. So as I said before, you don't need to reinstall Scriptcase. You don't need to convert projects. It's going to be an update inside version 9. So when the version is out, you just need to go to Options, Settings, and here you're going to access the Scriptcase update option and download all the new files, and your Scriptcase is going to be updated. Okay, the version release is going to be available tomorrow for you to download. We're going to notify you by email and so on. So all the things I'm showing here today is going to be available for you guys tomorrow. Okay, so let me log out just to show you that here there's no difference. Same screen. We are just mentioning here 9.1. This is similar with the version 8 and version 8.1, also version 7, 7.1. We did that before, so it's the same procedure. Let me log here. Okay, and as a big new feature for this version, we have now an integration with different APIs. This is the first option we show here, a new universe of possibilities with the APIs. So now Scriptcase is going to release these integrations automatically. So for this release, we are going to have the automatic integration with the email service, Mandrill, Amazon, and Mailchimp. This is going to be available now for this release from tomorrow, and we are going to integrate with other services as well. Those here are not available yet, but the idea is to start integrating for the next versions. So for this version 9.1, we are going to have the automatic integration for email services, Mailchimp, Mandrill, and Amazon. Okay, just a minute, please.
There's a question asking if it can run separately from 9.0.
Yeah, I mean, this is a release inside version 9. This is the question from Dan. He's asking if he can use the same version, both versions on the same PC. Yes, you can do it, but you need to do a manual installation using a different Apache, for example. You can, let me show here, let me see if I have a version 9. This is a really important question. If you want, for example, to test before you update. If I go here to my PC, let me see if I have a version 9 installed here. Yes, I do. Okay, so this is my version 9, my local version 9. Then I have www root. So let's say this is Scriptcase 9. I would have to rename the folder. I can use here Scriptcase 9. Okay, so this is my Scriptcase 9. I can go to Scriptcase's website. Let me find here the website. And then I can download. Scriptcase 9.1 is going to use the same environment, same PHP version, same Apache version. So I can go to download option and use here the manual installation. And this is going to deliver only a zip folder with the Scriptcase itself. Then I can unzip this Scriptcase 9.1. This is not the case because we still don't have it here, but you're going to download Scriptcase 9.1 and unzip inside this folder. You could say here, for example, new folder, Scriptcase, 9.1. So this is going to be your script case 9, and this is going to be your script case 9.1. And you can use both with the same environment. You don't need to install again because they can share the same Apache in the same environment. So to access, you will just change, for example, localhost, let's say. I guess this is the port, and then 89, and script case 9 or script case 9.1. Okay, you are going to be able to use both like this. It's not necessary, you can update, it's going to be okay, but if you want to use them separately, then you can do it this way. Okay, so this is a very important question, that's why I decided to show now. Okay, but as I said before, it's not necessary. You can update if you need. If something's if some oh, we always recommend you to run like backups before you do this kind of update. So before you update your version, we recommend you to backup everything. You can go to your script case and back all the projects, options, settings. Then you have here the option for general backup. Or if you want, you can also copy the folder. You can zip and copy and keep it in another place, in another directory on your PC, just to make sure you have this all the projects safe. Okay, let's continue here with the news. So talking again about APIs, for this release, we are going to have this automatic integration with the email services. Sorry. So I'm going to open here my script case to show you this, how this integration with the emails is going to work. So first, I'm going to open a project, the samples project. This is where we add all the examples from script case. So we are going to add the examples for this version as well. If you access here the project and go to script case 9, then you are going to have a new folder called script case 9.1. So inside this folder, we are adding different examples for you to see how to play with the new features. And I'm going to do small videos as well to show you how it is going to work. Okay, so for the email integration, you'll be able to see here inside tools, this new option for API. So how it is going to work here, we are going to add, this is like an interface for you to add your API's information. So for this version, we are going to release with the email options. So for example, I would add here, I have the gateway, then I can change, I can choose here SMTP, Mandrill, or Amazon, for example. I would have to add here my API key and my email information. So it's going to be saved here. It's like the default values from Scriptcase, and everywhere inside Scriptcase, if I need to use the API, I can just access from here, from this information. I'm going to show you an example today. So it's important to mention that we are with the APIs, we are adding this new interface, we are adding a new example, a new button for you to send emails. And there is also, there are two new macros, the macros SC call API and SC send email API. This is for advanced implementations if you need to use the APIs. We are going to send also this two new macros. Okay, is there any question there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm answering.
Okay, so Enrique is also helping me with the questions using the chat. Okay. Okay, so here with the API, there is an implementation, which is the option for you to send a new button for you to send emails. This is the implementation we comment here, reports directly to your inbox. So this is a new button we have implemented using the new APIs. So if you go here, I can open it. It is available inside the grid application, chart applications, for pivot tables as well. So I'm going to open here a grid application inside this project. This one that says email export. So I have an option for chart, and I have another option for email. So I'm going to open here just to show you how the integration is working here inside Scriptcase. We have a new option that says email export. And then here you are able to set up the information. So as I said before, you have the interface to save all the APIs. You can use this interface. Then when you come here, you're going to just call your settings. And then if you prefer, you can also create here inside the application. So as we do everything on Scriptcase, same way, you can do here inside the API option as a default value, or you can use customized options. I'm using here an example with SNTP just for us to test. Okay. And then here we have the options for you to send the email. I will run the application just to show you inside the application so you can better understand. So we have the new button, email, and then this is like the option for you to share by email. Then here you will choose how the file will be attached. So if it's going to be a PDF, doc option, XLS, and etc. So you choose the file, and then this is the general settings for PDF. Then you will send by email. Okay. So there inside this interface, you will set the default values for the email itself, for this box here. So you can set up the default to, or if it's going to have a copy or carbon copy as well. And we are using different examples. I can type the email here, my email, for example. I can use a global variable, or I can just leave it empty, and the final user will be able to put the information using this form. Okay, so for this option, we are using the global variable, and there is an event to set. In this case, we are assuming, for example, that this is going to be dynamic. So you can use global variables to get it from somewhere inside your database, for example. So you can do different implementations. I'm planning to do like advanced webinars to show you later, like real implementation with this option. Like the goal today is more to overview. So let's just add here my own email, for example. Then you have the title. You can use lang. We are adding here some default langs for you, and you can also use langs for the body options. Okay, I'll just go here to application to change the language for this from Spanish to English, so we can test again. Okay, so let's say I want to send this report by email with a PDF. So I can select here the level, because I have different group bys inside this application. I have also this option to select the level. I'm going to add here the emails, and there is a very nice option which is here inside the email export. I can say that it's going to have a copy. It's going to have a copy, but it's going to be hidden, or it's going to be available for the final user or not available. So, but this option hidden, it's nice because then you can add the email, but the final user is not going to see that the email is there. And then I send here the email, and it's going to be inside my inbox. Okay, the email is here. Yeah, we've received it. So we have report of orders. Like this name you can change because it's a link from Scriptcase. Yeah, but then it's just to show you how the report is going to arrive. And this is the same, you can do the same with the chart application, or with the resume, the summary or pivot tables. It's available for grid application and for charts as well. So we have here the option for chart email export. So it works in the same way. We have if you do, for example, Word, it's going to be the image inside the document. The same for image. You have the option for image as well here inside the chart application. Okay. So this option is available now because of this new integration. So you can do the integration with the SMTP, or you can do using Mandrill or Amazon. And I'm going to bring more examples later in the near future to show you this new options using the APIs. Okay, so this today is more to give you an overview. So we have these two features here. They are related, the reports and the APIs. And then we have the new export settings within the chart application. This is different because here we are talking about exporting by email, but then you have the regular export option, which is here. And you have also inside charts the option for you to export the applications. Like inside the version 9.0, you have the export options just for PDF and print, and now you have the option for doc as well, XLS, XML, CSV, RTF, image, and print. So this is all available. Let me change here the language again for the chart application as well. So this option is what we are saying here. For chart application, you have the option to send via email, and also the new settings to export to formats that we didn't have before. Okay. Yes, and then when it's for HTML and image exports, it was added a new important option for chart deep output selection. So this is going to be according to the metrics. You're going to choose the level. Let me see if I can show here within this chart. Yeah, we have two dimensions. So for example, we can drill here and see only on a specific region. And before, you were not able to export the chart. If it's only the first level, you wouldn't be able to export more than one level. So now if you choose to export the chart, it's going to ask you to select the level. So if you want to export ship region or employee ID, for example, here, and it's going to deliver you a PDF document. And if it's by email, the same thing, it's going to be attached to the email. Okay.
There's a
It,
question here. Can you use HTML text in the body of the email?
inside that email, no, it's just a text area. We've tested before, and it is not possible. He's talking about this option, but we have another example that I'm going to show. Let me just show again. He's asking about this option here inside this body, if it's possible to use HTML. No, just text, just simple text. Okay, it's a simple text area field. But we are doing some tests like with this control, for example, that you can use in different ways. Let me see if I can run this application. So something like this, for example. So this is possible inside the control because we are using a form, and then we have this HTML field, the HTML editor field, and here you are able to write an email using HTML. So the question would be yes, because you can do, because there is the macros. For this example, we are using the macro. As I mentioned before, we have two new macros, SC call API and SC send email API. So those macros are going to be for you to do advanced options. And we are going to do some advanced examples as well, like this one with the control application. We are using events to send the emails, and then we are just typing the HTML using that option for HTML from control application. Okay, but from inside chart and grid application, using this field is not possible. Just a normal, this is just a normal text area field. But yeah, maybe if there is, for example, some marketing emails or something like that, then you would need to play with the HTML. But this is more for you to share the reports and share the applications you are doing with grids and charts.
Can you integrate the new email feature with the send grid with another API?
With this, it's not automatic. It's not like Mondrio and MailChimp. It's not available for now. But yes, it would have to do using the external library. Okay, automatic integration for now, we are sending for this version only Amazon, Mondrio, and MailChimp. Mondrio is from MailChimp, so it's the same. But SendGrid, not for now. It's possible if you do using external library. You would have to import the API and create the manual button. It's not easy like this one.
Can you send a form to be signed for from a customer?
Sorry, say again.
Can you send a form to be signed from a
Yes,
customer?
yes, it can be done, but you have to do with the form application, and then yes, you could use the API, but it's a different implementation. Maybe we can play something like this in future webinars. It would have to be done with the maybe PDF or so. Because with the macros, you're going to be able to integrate the APIs in different applications, control forms, or even grids as well, depending on what you need to do.
Can you send a PDF report through the email feature?
Yes, we are doing this in this example. I did with PDF, not
I
PDF
think,
application, but
I
then
think he was
yeah,
referring to the PDF report application.
then you would have to do with the macro as well. But depending on the grid application, the PDF export, it's really powerful. You can do, you cannot, for example, customize a lot the header or footer as you could do with the TC PDF, for example. But depending on the report, it's possible. But for the PDF report application, you would have to do with the macro. It's not automatically integrated as we are doing with grids and charts. Okay, can I move on?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So next feature, I guess we are done with the export and we can talk about the new search options. And is there more questions about the export or email? And again, today is just an overview. I know that's going to be more questions, but then we are going to do more videos and documentation and everything for you guys to understand deeper how all this is going to work. Okay.
There's a question. How are the macro SC call API and SC send mail different? The difference between the two is the source of the email.
Yeah, the difference is the source. And also the second one, this SC send email API, it's almost the same thing. We have already this SC sent email. The difference is just that you need to add the source from the APIs. I have here the, okay. So let me show you the new options inside the search, the filters, and then we can go back to this email thing, and then I can get the more documentation. Yeah, and there's going to be also the documentation clarifying everything about the macros as well. Okay, so back here to the grid application, we have a new option for the search application. The search application, the first one we mentioned here, new advanced search for grid and chart. We are talking about the search application integrated with the grid. So if I open here, search with tag fields, this one, we can see that we have the advanced search. This is the search we are mentioning. This is the most important search feature we have inside the grid application. It's widely used by our users since the version 5, and it's really important search option inside the grid application. And then we decided to add new options inside this search model. So you have two ways to customize the search option here inside this interface, and also inside search, advanced search. So we have different times to use search options inside the grid application, and this is one of the options, is the advanced search. Okay, so if you go here to the advanced search, you have two new options. One is the tags, and the other one is the option for you to use the buttons inside the body of the filter. And we have the two examples here. If you see search with tag fields and search with starting with iframe. I will run this starting with iframe to show you the, okay. So here is the option that you have to add the buttons inside the body of the filter. So if you see here, there is an option for you to add the buttons inside the iframe. Before, if you don't use this option, you will have to add, for example, header to the application, and you would not be able to see the results on the same application. Okay, so about the tags, the tag option, let me run the application. It's the same thing. We have the search application now. The grid is starting by the search application. If you see here, the initial model is the advanced search. So it means we are going to run the grid, see a search application, and if you search, you will see the grid. Okay. So before you had this option, you would not be able to modify the filter inside the application. Just if you were using, for example, a dynamic search or quick search, but you didn't have the option to change the search criteria inside the same grid application. And now if you use the tags, for example, I can search here employee and I don't know, cheat via and search, then I can see here the tags, and I'm going to be able to modify inside the application, apply, and there's also a different layout for the tags. It's really nice to have the tags here, and you can apply a new condition, or you can remove, or you can add a new tag. So this is really handy for the grid application. And if you are already using this type of filter, it's going to be only needed for you to enable Scriptcase 9.1, and it's going to be available for your application. It's not hard to implement, to update the applications with this new filter. Then to display the tags, you just need to go here to advanced search settings, and there is an option display tags, and it's going to be enabled or not. Okay, so just simple like that, and then you have the tags inside the grid application. There is also another implementation for the search, which is not inside this search model. It's inside the search model from summary and charts. We have a search model here. Inside summary, let me close the search from grid. So there is another search model inside summary search. It was added inside version 9.0. Then we have here the options. You can select the fields. And when we are talking about date fields, then you have this new option inside the relative period. So we have different ways to play here with the date component. And if you choose relative period, you can choose the values if it's going to be year, quarter, month, week. And we have added new periods of date, and there is now an option for you to add a new range. So here you can add a new range according to your report. So let's say I want to add a new range with the next 2 years, and you're going to see here the length, or you can change the length as well. This is going to you're going to be able to see here how the name is going to be included inside the application. And you have the option next, last, and last. You can include the current, for example, next 2 years, including the current year, or next 5 years, including the current year. And it's going to be here, the new range. And it's going to, and you can also add the same way inside quarter, month, week, day, and so on. Okay, so this is a new option we have added inside the grid application for summary and also for chart application. You can have this option here inside search option.
Is it possible to save filters?
Yes, it is possible. Inside the grid application, there is a button called save grid. So you can enable this button, and once you do, you can build your report, for example. Or there is this way I'm going to do, for example, group by, etc. And there is going to be a button here for me to save the current view, something like that. Let me just go here to the toolbar, save button, save grid. Okay, I'm going to enable the button. So if I have a group by or something, I can save. I can choose the level, etc. and save. So this is one option you have. And another option, this is just for the advanced search, is for you to search here. If you click edit, you're going to be able to save the filter. So for example, let's do employee fuller and chip via federal chipping. And then I can save here filter 1, for example. So I will do this search, and then I can go back and use it again. So this is one way you can do using search application, search advanced search model, and you have also the option using the save grid button. Okay.
There will be a detailed changelog for
that. Yes. As soon the version is out, we are going to send the changelog as well with all the implementations. Okay, so new advanced search for grids and charts with the tags, and also the new options for you to display buttons inside the search. Summary and chart user search, new relative options. This is what I was just showing you guys. And yeah, now let me go back here. So for this version, we have added something really useful for you guys, which is the hotkeys. Yes,
Yeah, shortcuts.
The shortcuts. So for example, for you guys to save the application, to run the application, you have now, if you go here to application, for example, you have the keys F2 or Control S or F8 to generate the source code, like Control S to save the application. So now if you type Control S, you're going to save the application. If you would like to run, you just go to F9 and you're going to run the application. Then we have also this new button for you to run the project. This is also very handy. For example, if you have a big project with all the applications and you have usually you have the login screen, you would need to go to home and then look for the login screen to run the application. So this new button is going to compile all the applications and run the initial application. So you need to go and set the initial application, choose the initial application. So it is usually the login screen, for example. And when you choose the initial application, every time you click here, it is going to compile all the outdated applications and run from the initial application. Okay, so this is a new button we have added. And you have now the run and the run project. So the run is going to run the current application, and the run project is going to run from the initial application.
About these hotkeys, as a developer, I can relate to that. I
Uh-huh.
always try to use Control S to save my applications, and it was infuriating.
Yeah.
Okay, so we added some hotkeys to the Scriptcase interface, as you just saw, and besides the Control S, which is my favorite one by far, we have also the generate source and run application and run project as well, and um, they work on on every area of the uh, on every area of the application. Okay, you can use from any screen, and it will be very useful when you are using the code editor, which have received a lot of improvements as well.
Did you mention
So,
that you developed yourself? This?
well, yeah, I've been responsible for that, and a lot of other developers here, developers here, had a finger on that. So we brainstormed and got to fine tuning of shortcuts we should use, and it was agreed by all. So the first thing I must say is they are not yet user defined. Okay, we are planning that. They can be it can take another version or two, maybe, to implement that, but it will be user defined, and we can enable or disable them. In my script case, there's an option here, and they are following. They are reading from which operating system it is being accessed.
So it can be
So
used inside any operating system or um, browser as well.
yeah, we tested the most popular browsers and the most popular operating systems. And on macOS, you're gonna use command instead of control to execute your commands. And we just showed the script case shortcuts, but there is a lot of new shortcuts for the code editor as well. The first change we must see is that the code editor now it can highlight CSS and JavaScript. It is integrated. Uh, it is activated on our component. Okay, and the highlights and the autocomplete will be working here. As you can see, we have autocomplete for CSS properties, and we can, let me just organize it here and put a script as well. One of the things we have is the new full screen mode. Okay, we can just expand the size of the editor, or we can use the new full screen that will also minimize the top bar, and it is toggleable. There's a toggle button, which is a hotkey, is F11, that can toggle the full screen mode. We have now Emmet abbreviations, which means everybody that used Emmet can be happy that we don't have to write the whole HTML anymore. We can use a CSS notation and just tab it to have the full structure here. On the documentation, there will be a lot of
A complete list.
yeah, a lot of abbreviations that you can use to uh, shorten your development time using Emmet. Okay. One of the first shortcuts we could use is the Control A, Control Shift A, to use an Emmet abbreviation to encapsulate the current text you have. So I can encapsulate this table under a form, and it's gonna create the form and the indentations as well, and also point me to set my pointer to the action attribute. One of the favorites uh, of myself here is the new features we have to deal with the lines of code itself. We can duplicate the lines with Control D. We can copy the whole line with Control C, and then Control V to, oops, and then Control V without having to select anything. Control Shift up and down to expand our cursor and work as a multi-line cursor. We can edit a lot of lines at once. And we can use, for the same feature, we can use the Alt and click on the lines we want to edit. We can set manually with the mouse or with the keyboard.
For example, Stefan is asking if hotkeys are available for the final applications, control, forms, and yes, it is already not. This is not new, but you can inside the toolbar.
Yeah, we have this interface here where we can set shortcuts. Okay, we are planning to also rework this area, but there's no.
But you need to watch the browser and also and there you can add just one, right? And
yeah, we can add a ladder here, and I'm not sure. As I recall, it will be Shift and this letter.
I see. Or Command if it's Mac OS, right?
Yeah. I believe it is what's gonna happen here.
Okay.
So here we have the list of Scriptcase shortcuts. Okay, that they're gonna work with command as well, as I said, and we have a lot of shortcuts for the new Sublime based editor. Okay, the first thing we can, let me just show here. Oh, I'm sorry. What I wanted to show is here the abbreviations of Emmet we can use to shorten our work here. A complete list of these abbreviations will be available once the version is out, and well, every one of these was carefully thought and added based on the official Emmet documentation.
I see. Yeah, it was just there was a question regarding the macros, and then I was looking here for this option where you can see the parameters. This is going to be also in the documentation, but you can see here the difference between the two macros. So I see call API, how we're going to create the arrays and etc. And also the SCSend email mail API. So as I said before, this is similar to the send mail from Scriptcase. The new option is just the gateway for you to set if it's SMTP or Mandrill or Mailchimp. Okay. And then here is just for you to inform the profile if it's again the API or if it's SMTP, and then use inside the applications. I'm going to bring advanced examples for you guys later on for us to see this with real examples. Okay, let's move on here in the list. So we saw the keyboard options you have now, like integration with Sublime, Emmet, and etc. We've done this same presentation in Spanish as well. You can find this inside the YouTube channel, Scriptcase videos. Yes, so we have the presentation done by my colleague Federico in Spanish. It's already online, and I'm going to post this video on YouTube as well. And our channel is Scriptcase videos. So if you need to review, and we are going to post more videos about the version 9.1 inside this channel as well. Okay, so thank you very much guys for attending to this webinar live, for asking questions. Thank you Enrique for supporting me here with the questions.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and for developing the new features as well. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much guys. Have a nice day. See you next webinar. Bye bye.